3 days, 70,000 fans, favorite stars from comics, movies, TV, toys, games, and more.
Oh, and students from the only state school in the nation with cartooning comic art as a field of study, that being University of Maryland Eastern Shore. AwesomeCon is a celebration of geek culture happening next week in Washington, D.C. The man taking those students to this awesome event is Professor Bradley Hudson with the Department of Fine Arts at UMES. Welcome to DelmarvaLife.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit more about your role there and what you do.
So I take students to conventions all year long. AwesomeCon is one that we've been going to recently. And so when I go, I take a group of students. They set up as professionals and they sell their work, show their work. They network with other professionals and editors and art directors and writers. And so it's a great event for them. It gets them lots of exposure and it gets them a feeling for what they need to do when they get out on their own.
Yeah, that's not just 1 foot in the door, that's 2 feet in
Yeah,
the
that's
door.
that's a couple. Yeah.
So you teach sequential arts. For those who are not familiar, what is it?
So sequential arts is just comics, cartooning, telling stories with pictures. Anything like that would be considered sequential arts. So it's a term that was dubbed by Will Eisner a long time ago, and it's just one that I used when I made the program at UMES, so that it has an academic feeling to it, but it is just cartooning, comics, telling stories with pictures. So anything within that kind of mindset.
So talk about some of the arts that you've done.
I do freelance comic stuff. I do independent illustration. I've done lots and lots of trading card work with different companies like Topps and Upper Deck and Cryptozoic. And I've done things with, Star Wars, Walking Dead, Stranger Things, Marvel Comics, things like that.
Yeah. Back to AwesomeCon, it's celebrating 10 years. That's a really big deal. Tell us about that.
So AwesomeCon started, and it was a smaller con. It's grown enormously in the last few years. And so right now it's a comic book convention, but it's also kind of a multimedia convention as well. So you'll have people there that are voice actors for games and cartoons, and you'll have movie actors, TV actors, and then you'll have comic book artists and other artists as well in the field. So
Do you have some celebrities on your panel?
No celebrities on my panel. My panel is going to be about studying comics. So it's called So You Want to Study Comics. And so I'm just going to talk about studying comics and what any students that are looking to do that in higher education, what they can do and how they can prepare themselves, and things that they can consider as options. So I'll have probably some students on the panel with me and my other colleague, Mr. Hernandez, who's a professor as well.
Yeah. So there's lots of cons all around the country. Of course, we know about Comic-Con, but what makes AwesomeCon different from the rest, do you think?
It's a great place for us because a lot of our students come out of the D.C., Prince George's County area. And so for us, it's a great recruiting event as well. But AwesomeCon is just a great thing because you don't have to go to San Diego, don't have to New York. You can just go to D.C. a couple hours away, and you have a large convention that has a whole host of things for you to enjoy.
So why do you think it's important to study comics in college?
When you go into sequential arts, you're trained in a variety of fields and mediums that make you very, very marketable. And so just because a student comes in as a sequential arts major, that doesn't mean that's all they can do. They can go out, they can be graphic designers, they can be illustrators, they can be painters, they can be gallery artists. One of our most recent graduates is a really successful gallery artist in New York right now. And so it's not something that you're limited by. It's actually the opposite. You're actually well versed in a whole host of materials and techniques that make you very marketable.
And it'd be so cool to say that my child is a sequential artist.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Of course, when's it happening?
The con is the 16th through the 18th of June. The panel that I'm doing, is going to be on Friday at 5 o'clock.
Well, have fun. I know you will.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah.